Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. What's up, everybody? You're tuned in to another episode of Prison Talk. Happy holidays, and thanks for tuning in. For all you guys out there, if you haven't checked out our website, please do so at FreshOutSeries.com. If you got any questions, check us out at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. I'll try to answer your questions. I can't get to all the questions, but I try to get to as many as possible in these Prison Talks. Also subscribe to our Instagram and Twitter and our Patreon, which is Fresh Out Series. We appreciate you guys' support, and we appreciate you guys tuning into the live streams. So keep doing so, and we look forward to hearing from you because we're trying to keep the realest, prison stuff going on the internet, on YouTube, and really be positive about it, even though some of it's entertaining for you guys. Had a question from one of our viewers. Hi, Big Herc. First off, thank you for the work you are doing and congratulations on finding this positive calling. As you know, with Trump in office, you are living in a period of a lot of repression and resistance. Therefore, we could anticipate more people going to jail and prison for political reasons. Correspondingly, I have a few questions about political prisoners. Have you ever encountered a political prisoner? How do other inmates treat political prisoners and or people who are doing time for things like assaulting a police officer during a street riot, trespassing and occupying private and public spaces, and other forms of disruption? To add to this, if you are a nonviolent, legit person who is doing time for social justice reasons and you have no interest in being thugged out, will other inmates regard you as soft and test you, or will they let you live because you are not about that life? I would like to hear your thoughts on this matter. Stay strong. Marcos. Political prisoners. I never ran across any particular prisoners who were locked up for, say, journalism, for what they could call, quote unquote, fake media, or trespassing, or rioting, or anything like that. Those individuals probably would have been locked up in the state because I don't see them affecting interstate commerce, which is what the feds concern themselves with, unless it was something like, these guys tried to blow up something, a federal building, or they got caught with explosives or something like that. There was some people, I think it was, I can't remember if it was one or two individuals who were involved in, I want to say, the World Trade Center plot to bomb the World Trade Center, and they got shipped to Sheridan, FCI, when I was there, and they were Muslim, and the warden did an announcement that if anybody touches these individuals, they will be prosecuted. They will go to the hole, they will catch time and all this shit. So he was actually protecting these individuals in there, who were Muslims from the Middle East who were involved in that plot. I never really, I never really pointed them out in there. I never really, sought these individuals out personally or paid any attention to who they were, but I know there was an announcement made, and this warden, he was a fucking dick anyways, but he made it be known that if anybody messes with these individuals, they were gonna have problems. That was probably the closest I would say to political, but these guys were actually terrorists, so they weren't really even political. They just were some fuckers trying to just, blow up some shit. As far as the respect, if you carry, like I said, it goes back to how you carry yourself. Smart individuals who are educated. I met a lot of brothers from back east who were on, I would say, like political agenda as far as conversation. These guys, a lot of them were, 5%, Nation of Islam. They were educated. They read a lot of books on just politics, government, philosophy, and I studied with a lot of the guys in the law library. Some of the first brothers who really helped me with the law were Muslim brothers, and you know, they felt that, you know, being in the feds and for the crimes they were there for, it was more political because of the amount of time they got. You know, guys, you know, doing crimes, you know, whether it be selling drugs or bank robbery, getting 20 years, 30 years. I mean, and these guys didn't get caught in the act, but you got these fucking chomos and, you know, child porn motherfuckers getting slaps on the wrist. I mean, it's very unnerving for a lot of individuals, you know, especially when you see the majority of people locked up with all this time look like you. So that was the closest to political I seen, and most of the people in the feds felt that because the government locked them up, that it was a political. So a lot of people felt they were political prisoners, even though they might not have been involved in any per se rioting or protesting or things of that nature. But, you know, to them, the mindset of a lot of people in the feds was that they were in a kind of like a war per se, mentally or physically with the oppressor, which they considered the federal government at that point, because they were locked up in the feds. And because the amount of time they were giving out, you know, nonviolent offenders getting, you know, 20-year deals for conspiracy. You know, when you have guys who committed murder who get out, you know, in less time, you know, it doesn't make sense. Especially when a lot of these males are black males, you know, Hispanic males, and it's just, that's political when you look at it. You know, you talk about political prisoners, I would say that's considered political, because when you're locking up minorities for that much time for nonviolent offenses, that's insane, you know? And we look at some of the other crimes that people are doing time for and getting out, you know, in the state, it doesn't really add up, you know? The pictures that they paint of these individuals to justify the time is demonic, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's just another number. And for them, filling up the prisons, they're making money. You know, they need the prisons filled up to make money. That goes back to politics, because the people who house these prisons in their states are getting kickbacks from the prisons. So in a sense, that could be considered a whole political agenda, you know? But that's my take on it, and that's my experience having dealt with political individuals in prison. As far as being, you know, thugged out, man, ain't nobody, you walk around there sagging, acting like an ignorant motherfucker, somebody will find you and split your fucking wig. You know, if you're educated, you're articulate, you're, you know, in there, you know, in the law library studying, learning stuff, you can help people with their cases, their habeas corpus, their appeals, man, you're respected. You know, guys pay other individuals all the time to do their legal work for them while they watch TV or play sports. So it's no big thing if you are a square in prison, because squares are valued, you know, they help people, and, you know, they do a justice for individuals in there who aren't very scholarly, people who aren't able to study or, you know, break down legal terminology or things of that nature. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to be a square, and, you know, if you're not thugged out, it ain't no big thing, man. All that shit that you hear about motherfuckers walking around thugged out, acting ignorant, man, ain't nobody giving a fuck about that. Grown men up in there respect the person who's more or less educated, who's trying to better themselves to do something to get out of prison, because the motherfuckers who are really about it are trying to get the fuck out. They're fighting their cases. The dumb motherfuckers who are institutionalized are staying in there acting thugged out until they become old men, and then they realize they want to get the fuck out. So that's my take on that whole situation. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.